Hello again. I have, of course, spoken before about this topic, which is the way in which it is increasingly difficult to say what you want on the internet. Start a channel on YouTube that goes in what is seen as the wrong direction, and you will be deleted. The channel will vanish. The same goes for Facebook and other places. Even leaving casual comments on other people's sites or channels is increasingly hard because everybody now is keen to block, moderate, and otherwise censor those with whom they disagree. This is a terrible state of affairs, and it is a reason that I never block people or delete their comments here. The only stuff I delete is people pushing scams or online dating agencies, and of course those who use my image and urge people to contact them on WhatsApp. Just for future reference, I don't even use WhatsApp. So anybody that sees my photograph here saying, please contact me on WhatsApp will know at once that there is something dodgy about it. There is a downside to this, and that is that it lays me open to the charge that I am a supporter of Hitler and sympathetic to Nazis and neo-Nazis. There could, of course, hardly be a more grotesque accusation, but it is one regularly made by those who do not like this channel. The reason is, of course, that because I operate no moderation, a lot of people come on here to say stuff which would get them banned elsewhere. Much of this is anti-Semitic. Some people that comment here have got Jews on the brain and can't talk about anything other than Jews and the Holocaust. Looking at criticism of this channel elsewhere on the internet, it at once strikes me that people are more worried about the comments here than they are about anything I actually say. You will see people exclaiming in horror that the comments section here is a cesspit of hate and that some of those commenting support Hitler and the Nazis. There is, of course, a great deal of truth in this, although such people are only a small minority amongst those who comment. Nevertheless, it is suggested that the fact that I neither delete these comments nor argue with the people making them, nor denounce them in self-righteous fury when making videos, must mean that I secretly agree with them. This is, of course, quite mad. I will just remind viewers that I lived in Israel for some years and that I'm a passionate Zionist. Having said this, how many people who are normal and sane will think that I agree with the people commenting here who support Hitler and make coded references to him as the Austrian painter? How do they think that I regard the Nazis who ruled Germany between 1933 and 1945? Do people think that I'm really a supporter of this movement? What about the neo-Nazis, that is to say those who now espouse the ideology of the Nazis in the modern world? Anybody think it likely that I'm a supporter of them either? I thought it worth mentioning this, although I doubt it will make any difference to anybody. There are 2 points which I always bear in mind. The first is that free speech is an absolute. There's somebody who's actually announcing some criminal intent and urging others to join him in breaking the law or committing an act of violence. I think that anybody should be able to say quite literally anything at all. I'm not a policeman, so if anybody does break the law by urging violence here, it's not my job to arrest them and bring a prosecution, so I can forget about that. There is another point to bear in mind, and that is that I am often wrong about what I say. Most of us are. Most of us hold false beliefs. Most of us have got ideas in our heads which are incorrect. So I'm certainly not asking people to accept anything I say or believe unreservedly in my own opinions. That being so, I can't be too ready to censor those who are saying things which I think are incorrect. Take Holocaust denial, for example. I have faith in the Orthodox account of this event, but that does not necessarily mean that it is correct or that I am wise to do so. You see, even those who are routinely denounced as Holocaust deniers, and I'm thinking here particularly of David Irving, have told us useful and unexpected things. Today, we're all of us familiar with the fact that the firebombing of Dresden in 1945 was a terrible thing, and that far more civilians were killed in that event than was at first believed for the first 20 years or so after the end of the war. It is Irving's first book, The Destruction of Dresden, which was published in 1963, which we have to thank for this. If not for his research, then Dresden might have faded from memory and never been properly researched. Exactly the same thing applies to the Holocaust and all other historical events. We must never stop looking at them and asking questions, because there is never a definitive view of history. In the meantime, rest assured that nobody will ever be blocked from this channel, nor will any comments ever be deleted. I think that most people already know this, but it's always good to remind folk. Those comments which do vanish are a result of YouTube and their wretched algorithms, about which I can do nothing at all, I'm afraid.